Welcome to Yoga Mama. Give yourself a moment to settle into this space on your mat. Sit comfortably. Let your eyes close or focus them on a single spot. If it's comfortable for you to bring your hands to your belly, take a moment to connect to your baby through your breath. Take slow, full inhalations that draw your awareness from the tip of your nostrils, down through your throat, into your lungs, and down to your belly. Feel your belly expand with each inhale, and feel how your abdomen hugs your baby toward your spine with each exhale. And just take a moment to really enjoy this relationship that you already have with your baby. And let this time on your mat today be about creating space within your body for yourself, for your baby. You can continue to focus on your breath, either these really full belly breaths, or you might try the Ujjayi breath, where you'll keep your belly drawn back toward your spine even as you inhale. And this provides a lot of support to the spine and allows you to feel a bit more balanced and sturdy as you move from place to place. Now let's come on to hands and knees. And if your knees need a cushion, you can put a blanket beneath them. If not, you can move your blanket to the side. And hands right below the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Feel that you're still hugging baby close to your spine with your belly. And take a full inhalation. And exhale, come into cat pose. Round your spine and press firmly down through your hands and feet so you're feeling how your body is even more so here, lifting your baby up away from the ground. Keep that feeling of holding baby close to the spine as you inhale and take your head and tail back. A gentle back bend to cow pose. And continue to flow between these two. Exhales to cat. Inhales to cow. And if you'd like to stretch your lower back even more, take your knees a little wider and your big toes together, and you'll still exhale to cat pose, but then let your hips sink back toward the heels, almost to child's pose. Gaze up towards your hands, and with your elbows bent, draw the shoulders down your back, belly really strong. Inhale to glide the chest forward and up to cow. Exhale, round your spine, hug baby in, and as you sink the hips back, squeeze at the pelvic floor. Those muscles between the tailbone, pubic bone, and sitting bones. Inhale, glide the chest forward and up. Exhale, round the spine, hug baby in, lift the pelvic floor. So a lot happening in this simple movement. Take a few more rounds to get very used to this flow. And you can do this every day while you're pregnant. This will help to keep your abdominal muscles strong, your back nice and open, and also the uterine muscles will remain strong in tone. And the next time that you sink your hips back to meet your heels, settle into child's pose. So knees can go as wide as they need to, so your belly has plenty of space. And you can either rest your forehead down to your mat, but if you've had heartburn or reflux lately, you can put your block under your head. And let your head just gently roll side to side. Take a few breaths. And feel free to come back to this pose as often as you need to. Anytime you feel out of breath or anytime you need a rest, you can come back here. Let's lift up to hands and knees. And for now, let's place the blocks underneath the hands. Knees can step underneath the hips. And bring your right foot forward just outside of your block. So we always, in our lunges in pregnancy, keep our blocks or our hands inside of the front foot. This gives your belly plenty of space. We also want to focus on the balance of stretch and strength. So not just looking for a deep stretch in the lunge, but also strengthen your legs. Press your feet into the floor. Feel as though you're scissoring the legs closed. And this will help to keep your pelvic joints stable. Now you can stay here with hands down, or you can bring the right hand to the right thigh and inhale, lift the left arm up. You can stay straight up here in this lunge, or you can bring the right hand to the hip and lean a little bit to the right. So you're getting a big stretch through your left side. This will feel really good for those of you whose baby has been hanging out through the left side of the rib cage, bringing space there by breathing fully. Exhale, bring your left hand back down onto your block and move the block a little to the side. Turn your right toes a little to the side, and your right hand can press into the right thigh. The right knee opens, the feet are still squeezing toward each other, a gentle twist. If you'd like, you can extend the right arm up toward the ceiling and let the right arm roll back a bit. Take a few breaths. Feel that you're creating more space as you breathe in. And that feeling of strength through your core as you breathe out. And next, exhale, come down with the right hand. With the left block under the shoulder, inhale, step back. And we'll exhale, left foot forward, just outside the block. Remember to press through your feet and feel as though you're squeezing the feet closer to each other. You can certainly leave your hands down, or if you'd like, press the left hand to the left thigh. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. You can definitely stay here, or with the left hand near the left hip, lean your upper body to the left a bit, and breathe into all that length you're bringing through the right side. Visualize breathing space between your vertebrae with each inhale, and exhale, hug your baby toward your back, holding that space you've made. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, bring the right hand down onto your block. You can step the block out a little wider and turn the left toes out a little bit wide. And let the left knee open so your belly has plenty of room. If you need more space, you can always wiggle your foot a little wider. Press into the left hand to roll the left shoulder back. You can gaze toward the ceiling. And if you'd like more stretch, more opening, lift the left arm up. And let your arms reach wide apart as you draw the shoulder blades together. And be sure here to keep that feeling of scissoring the legs closer together. If there's any discomfort in these lunges for your pelvic bones, consider bringing the back knee a little closer to the front of your mat and see if that helps. And next, exhale, bring the left hand back down. And we'll step back to table pose. And you can move your blocks out from underneath your hands. Hands a little bit forward of the shoulders. With your toes tucked, lift your knees up, coming into down dog. So the modification for down dog in pregnancy is to keep a little bend at your knees and take your feet wider than your hips apart. As you get further along, you might even need to go about mat distance apart. And let your hips reach up and back. And with your inhalations, visualize that you're reaching the hips further up and back, bringing more and more length to your spine. Feel free to rock the hips side to side, or some like to bend one knee and then the other. Just make sure you're still breathing. Walk your hands slowly back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back side of your mat. You can bring your blocks with you if you feel like you need to stay propped up a little higher, especially if you've had a lot of heartburn or a lot of pressure in your head when you fold. Otherwise, feel free to fold as far forward as you'd like, and if your belly needs more room, you can just take your feet even wider, even if they go off the mat. That's totally fine. And let your head hang down. Let the head be heavy for a moment. Take another full breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now bring a little bend into your knees, and with your hands on your thighs, slowly roll your way up to standing. Draw your belly in toward your back, and once you're up, you can bring the feet just a little closer together, and take a big circle or two with the shoulders. Roll them up as you inhale, release them back and down on your exhale. Take a moment in mountain pose to get really grounded through your feet. You can lift up your toes, spread them wide, and press down through your heels and the balls of your feet. And with your inhalations, feel that you're growing taller through the spine. And again, exhalations, hug baby in toward your back, so you're keeping this abdominal wall very active to support your back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring a little bend to your knees and swan dive forward. So the arms open wide, belly stays strong. Hands can come to thighs, shins, or your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Press the hands to something, your blocks, your legs. Flatten out your back. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, reach the arms out, rise all the way up, keeping the belly strong as you rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, remember to bend the knees. Swan dive forward with your belly strong. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Keep that little bend to your knees and inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer. And we'll add to that sequence a prenatal sun salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slight bend to the knees, swan dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the hands to the mat and walk them forward so that you come into downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the knees down, back to table, and let's place the hands on the blocks. Feel free to skip the blocks if you're not that far along yet. Exhale, right foot comes forward. The left knee can slide back as far as you'd like it to go. And press through the feet. Your hands can stay down, or inhale, bring the arms up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. Feel free to go one at a time if you're getting further along. And inhale, step back to table pose. So the hands come right below the shoulders, just behind the blocks. Exhale, round your spine, hug baby in. Knees are wide, so you have space to sink the hips back toward child's pose. And inhale, scoop the heart forward and up, a gentle back bend to cow. Exhale, separate the feet, lift the knees, down dog. Take 3 breaths here. Make any adjustments you need to make in the placement of your hands and your feet. With your inhales, think of your spine stretching longer and longer. And on your exhales, draw baby toward your back. Inhale, softly land your knees in table pose. Hands can come back to your blocks if you'd like. Exhale, left foot forward. Press strongly through both feet. And inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, step back with the left foot, hands back to your mat, and exhale, lift the knees, down dog. 1 inhale here. Exhale with your knees slightly bent, walk your hands back towards your feet. And inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands to your mat. Slight bend to the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Relax your arms down and step toward the middle of your mat. And you can move your blocks just in front of your mat on the long edge and on their highest side. You might be using those in just a moment. And step the feet wide apart and have your heels aligned with each other. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, reach way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands down behind your back. You can make a clasp of the hands. If that feels like too much, hands to the hips will be just as good. Draw the shoulder blades back, and you can lift the arms away from your back if you'd like to. Let your head tilt back as much as feels comfortable while keeping lots of space through the back of your neck. And feel that you're squeezing your heels towards each other so your legs are still very active. 1 more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward. Your arms can lift away from your back if you'd like. And if you need a little more support here, you have the option of putting your block under your forehead, especially if you've had a lot of heartburn. You can bring your hands down to your blocks if you don't want to fold quite as far. That might feel more supportive for some. Either way, really squeeze the heels toward each other and let your thigh bones stretch up toward the ceiling. Feel that you're still keeping your baby drawn in toward your spine. Take another full breath. And bring a little bend to your knees. Turn your right toes out, and I'm mirroring you guys now since I'm facing you, so you can walk your blocks towards your right foot, just inside of the right foot. You can keep both hands down on the blocks, or inhale and sweep the left arm up, triangle pose. Keep that action of trying to squeeze the heels close together. Let your upper body lean back. One more breath here, inhale. And exhale, bend your right knee. Bring the left arm alongside your ear. Another option for the top arm is to wrap it around your back. And if this doesn't feel so supportive, you can also bring your right forearm to your right thigh. And take another full breath here. Let the spine stretch long. And exhale, bring your hands down to your blocks. Walk your blocks toward the long edge of your mat and turn the right toes in. Turn your left toes out and walk your hands towards your left foot. You can keep a little bend at the left knee. Your knee does not need to be locked. And press really firmly through both feet. Feel that you're squeezing the heels together. And if you'd like, you can extend the right arm up, but also feel free to keep the right hand down. And breathe. Lengthening through the spine as you breathe in. Hugging baby back toward the spine as you breathe out. Exhale, bend the left knee. You can keep your hand on your block or move your elbow to your thigh. And your arm can stay straight up. It can come alongside your ear. Or you can take the top arm around your back. See what feels best for you. And let's take one more full breath here in side angle. And exhale, bring the hands down onto your blocks. Walk the blocks back toward the long side of your mat. And as you turn the left toes in, we'll heel toe the feet closer and closer together until your heels are about hip distance apart, and take your toes wider than your heels. Slowly bend the knees and sink your hips down into a squat position. You might want to use your blocks under your hands here, or some like to sit on a block. If your heels don't touch all the way down in the squat, if you're lifted up on the balls of your feet, it will feel better for you to bring a blanket folded or rolled up underneath the heels, so you have something to ground into. Now, we're going to be here for a little bit, so if at some point you need a break, you can lift up your hips and come to a forward bend. But for now, as you hold here, you can try bringing the hands to prayer. And really squeeze your legs against your arms. Let the arms press out a little bit against the legs so you have a lot of energy in the legs and in the lower body. And each time you breathe in, again, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, draw energy from the pelvic floor up through your body. And what I mean by that is engaging all those muscles at the bottom of the pelvis. Feel as though you're sealing off all the openings at the bottom of the pelvis and drawing those muscles up and in toward your belly. Inhale to soften the pelvic floor. Let it fully relax. And repeat this pattern a few more times with your breath as your guide. And squatting is really important to practice during pregnancy, as this prepares your body for the position you'll need to take for delivery. And these pelvic floor lifts you can do throughout the day to help keep your pelvic floor strong, as the weight that it's bearing now is increasing daily. Now you can bring your hands down and step the hands just behind your hips and lower your hips all the way down. Feel free to sit on your blanket here, and you can bring the bottoms of your feet together. Hands can hold ankles or shins. And in this bound angle pose, we don't need to have the heels very close to the hips. We want some space because we'll be folding forward. Your belly needs a little room. Inhale and lift up through your heart. Draw your shoulders back, even let your head tilt back. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Let your head sink down, let your spine round. And with your belly drawn toward your spine now, inhale and roll up. Lift up your heart, draw your shoulders back, head back. Exhale, fold. With your belly drawn in, inhale, roll your way up. Lift your heart at the top, take your head back. Exhale, fold forward. One more time, inhale, roll your spine up. Lift your heart, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold forward, and this time stay in your fold. You can bring your hands onto your feet. If your baby has been getting into your rib cage lately, it might feel best for you to take this fold very lightly and have your hands on your blocks. As long as we have some tilt forward with the spine here, we'll be getting some space in the lower back, which is what we're going for. It may feel comfortable for you to rock your upper body side to side, giving your low back a little more space. And take another full breath. And then slowly roll your spine up. Good. You can bring your blocks one on top of the other toward the side of your mat. And then you'll also want to have a bolster for this next pose. We'll just put that on the same side of the mat as the blocks. And lastly, you'll want your blanket. You can fold it up a few times. It's going to be your pillow for this next pose. So in pregnancy, the left side lying Shavasana is most comfortable for most people. So we're going to lay on our left side. You can put your blanket underneath your head just like a pillow. You can put your blocks underneath your right arm. This will help to keep your shoulders comfortable while you rest. And then your bolster goes underneath your right leg, supporting your knee, your shin, and your ankle. And take your time to shift things around if this isn't feeling quite comfortable for you. And just give yourself some time to rest here. If you are further along, tucking a blanket rolled up underneath your belly will help you to stay more comfortable as you rest. And give yourself at least 5 deep breaths here. More if you'd like. Let your facial expression relax. Release every muscle in your body. And considering all that your body is doing for you every moment, each day, to sustain your life and the life of your baby now, give yourself this time to just completely relax. When you feel ready to come up, do so slowly. You can press down into your right hand and stretch the right leg out, bend the left knee, and slowly bring yourself up to a seat. You can sit any way that you'd like. You can bring hands together in prayer or hands on your lap. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your day to reconnect to your breath, your body, and your baby.